Right, the recording is started and I can kick us off with our roll call. I've got Chair Spey,
Good morning. Yes, present.
Commissioner Demas,
Present. Good morning.
Commissioner Gamboa, Commissioner Jasmine,
Present.
Commissioner Tran,
Present.
Director Armstrong,
Present.
Deputy Director Strongmoss, Assistant Attorney General Lamson.
Present. Good morning.
Any other callers on the line wishing to introduce themselves may take themselves off mute and do so now.
Deborah Gonzalez, Administrative Services Manager.
Hearing no others, Allison Ripper, Commission Clerk, and roll call is complete. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our October State Human Rights Commission meeting. We received a couple of minutes going back a few meetings back to July. Let me get that list. Here it is. If there's a motion regarding those, I would entertain it now.
I move we approve those meeting minutes.
Second.
Wonderful. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I heard one person vote. Any abstentions? How many people, what's our number of commissioners attending? 3?
Just we have a quorum. Yes.
What's our number?
4.
We need 2.
I think we have 4. We have Commissioner Demas, Commissioner Tron, you the chair, and Commissioner Jasmine. We have 4.
All right, I only heard one person vote in the affirmative and no one vote in the negative or as a
I affirm. I did affirm.
Okay, we'll just do it one more time. All those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All those opposed? All right, the meeting minutes are accepted as submitted. Thank you. All right, next up is our case closures. There were 50 cases submitted for our review this month. Is there any discussion regarding any of those cases? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion regarding their acceptance.
I
I make a motion.
Oh,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, good.
Commissioner.
I make a motion to accept these cases as they are concluded.
I second.
All right. All right, great. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the case closures submitted are accepted. All right, administrative things now aside, up next is our executive director reporting. And Judah, I'll kick it over to you.
Okay, thanks, Chair. I met with the subcommittee, as I call it, related to the retreat from the last time we met. And it's a work in progress. However, what I did is I talked with each of you. I haven't been able to get a couple of you, but that's I'll do that but before the next meeting, and ask you about your legacy and that you would like to leave when you move on, just during your tenure here as a commissioner, and what would be your training needs. And from those 2 points, I am building the agenda for your retreat. So I came up with, so far, you all have come up with needing more training related to the business of that we're in the commission. So what is an employment or public accommodation or housing discrimination, and some areas that it's not. But so you can better do some outreach for us. And also there was a concern that we learned, that you all learn more about farm worker rights, particularly women that that are abused by employers. And so we can certainly put that on the agenda. There was a concern about knowing more about discrimination rights, and how do we advocate for those with disabilities, being that no one has on the commission has identified themselves as being an advocate. There was concern from a commissioner saying, you know, hey, there's a gap here. So let's be intentional about advocating for those with disabilities. It also came up in my discussions with you all that you need to know more about the roles and responsibilities and limitations of being a commissioner.
Yes.
And particularly those of you who have aspirations of political aspirations. And so some training possibly from the Executive Ethics Board. So we can certainly have that as part of the training too. So a couple of areas. One, outreach. And
Yes.
two, knowing more of your role as it relates to a commissioner, the limitations and the things and the liberties that you have. So I still have yet to talk with a couple of you, and so this task or this project is ongoing. So it doesn't look like we're in a position to have a retreat next month, because there's just so much more for this committee to do. So I will be talking with you all before the next meeting. And speaking of the next meeting, in November and December, there is no specific dates for you all to meet, because typically around the holidays, that's the fourth Thursday is pretty much butting up with the regular commission meetings. So we need to decide, you all need to decide what date that November commission meeting will be, the date and time. So I would like for you all to do that today. That's all I have, because the commission clerk won't be able to give out notices and all these kinds of things as it relates to the commission meeting when there's no specific date.
All right. Well, thank you for that detailed update. Glad to hear the retreat-related things are in motion, and that you know, it's important that we all get together, but it's also important that we get together in a meaningful way. So if it takes an extra an extra month to for us to get the information we need to really make it as productive of a session as possible, of course, I'm sure everybody would welcome that. Regarding next month's meeting, you are correct. It would be bumping up against the holidays. Actually, that'd be Thanksgiving, the 23rd. So Are we able to do it 1 week prior on November 16th? Does that pose any administrative issues?
Allison, would you see any
None.
issues in with, okay.
None on my end, thank you.
For me, I'll be able to make it November 16. I'll be able to do that.
Okay.
This is AAG Kristen. I am unavailable that day, but I'm also not essential to the meeting. And if there's any legal issues, I can see if I can have a colleague cover if there's anything on the agenda. But I'm not necessary for a quorum.
Okay.
I'm available November 16th.
All right. So I've heard 3 commissioners weigh in. Anybody else? Or 2 commissioners. Anybody else?
I'm also available the 16th.
Okay. All right. And Kristen, understanding that you are not available that day, would there be any issue in having someone sub in for you on that day?
I will have to check. I don't have calendars in front of me, but I know the person that I would normally have stand in is coming to the other meeting with me. So I will have to ask my colleagues to see who can cover the other meeting. If there were an early meeting, I could do 8 to 9, or in the afternoon, 4 to 5. But those, otherwise, I'm at an all-day meeting. And I'll need to get back to you on whether there's somebody that can stand in.
Okay.
We have a lot of other commission clients that all meet on Thursdays. So the normal cadence works, but that third Thursday is a number of other commission meetings. So a number of my colleagues are in other commission meetings that same day.
Oh.
So yeah, let me check.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, here's something. I mean, just for the sake of expediency, what about Friday the 17th of November?
I should be available that day.
All right. What about the commissioners?
I am checking my calendars. Are we thinking 9:30, our usual time?
Yeah, unless that poses a unworkable conflict for anybody.
Friday the 7 to 9:30. I'm in.
Yeah,
Okay.
that works. 9:30 Friday, November 17th works for me.
Okay. Anybody else want to weigh in that needs to be there that is unavailable on Friday the 17th, November 17th at 9:30? All right. Hearing none, we'll plan on Friday the 17th at 9:30 for our November meeting. We could go and deal with December, but my thought is we deal with December and November and see whether we need it. I know historically we haven't met, but we'll see if we need it. And if so, we'll get a date on the books at that point in time. All right. Andrea, is there anything that you wanted me to cover from your report that I forgot or missed?
No, thank you so much. I do have here our senior policy analyst. He's listening and sending through the chat that just want you all to think about January after the start of the session may be a good time to have a retreat. And maybe you can interact with some of the legislators. So just kind of think about that. Particularly as it relates to maybe a December meeting, we may just want to move over to January for the retreat, for that to be on some level the December meeting as well as the retreat. But I didn't want to get ahead of ourselves. I just want you to note that possibly we in January there will be the start of the legislature. So and we can possibly have a retreat at that time. There's nothing else, Chair Spay.
All right, thank you. And I agree that actually, that's a really good suggestion. I'm always mindful of imposing additional things on Olympians during the legislative session because it's already hectic enough. But if everybody who's going to be participating in this can accommodate that, then that's something that we should definitely give some serious thought to. All right, our next item on our agenda is commissioner reporting. Is there anything that any of the commissioners would like to report to the group?
I can report some of the activities from the Human Rights Commission perspective. So I was two things. I was invited to both one happy event and one tragic event. So I'll start with the tragic. There was a young South Asian woman who was fatally struck by a police officer in his vehicle. And this was back in January. And there have been discussions with community leaders as well as the Seattle City Council members and mayors, and mayor, there's one, and then as well as a couple other leaders within the community, the South Asian community, specifically to seek justice. My presence was requested at one of the meetings as support for both the South Asian community, moral support, as no like legal obligation as a human rights commissioner, but just being there as a representative and listening to the community. So it's a very helpful listening session. The community is very, as you can imagine, deeply saddened by this loss, and there are actions that the community is working towards. I am in full support of, obviously, this is outside of the lane of the Human Rights Commission as per, discrimination cases that we are mainly focusing on, but just as a representative working with the state, they requested my presence. So there as support and to listen. I think the outcome of this is that they would like to send support to Jahanavi's mother back in India and create a scholarship at the University of Washington because that's where she was attending. So there's more to come out of that. In addition, I have been focusing on providing, moral support for the youth as well as for the South Asian and Asian community. They invited me. This is the happy event. They invited me out to Dessera, which is a wonderful celebration of the conquering of evil by good and of lightness over darkness in terms of just morality. And so it's part of the Hindu tradition. It was wonderful to be invited, and they had me out as a guest of honor with all the performances and the youth groups, and it was a pleasure to meet the communities and the community members out there. So that's what I have to report. There are certainly a lot of things to celebrate as well as to mourn in tragedy. And I think that as a human rights commissioner, we definitely, are to be ambassadors for the state and for discrimination laws in general. Thank you.
For my area, there are multiple discriminating issues around here not being reported and right under my eyes, and I feel so powerless, especially in the workforce and the fairness in housing and employment, the way they treat people, and people don't know their rights, period, and they just take the abuse. So that's why I'm glad that we're going to have a seminar about how to deal with issues and how we can refer people or do something, since we don't have the power to undo actively things. But indirectly, if we can have a machine or a system that would direct people to the right help, that would be helpful, because we have discrimination in housing like crazy here. People are basically not finding a place to live because of you don't know why, but people are being put in the streets and with kids and all that, and then the housing, the so-called hardened, all this, that they're not doing anything out here really, and it's just people get paid and then shovel people around and people get homeless and stuff like that. So and then as far as job is concerned, employment, they don't employ people, they send them to employment agencies. Everybody's always temporary, so they don't pay certain things to employees. I mean, it's upside down. It's a whole lot of abuse, but you know, what we're going to do about it. So it's not. We may be in housing, fighting against discrimination in housing or employment, but we are at the top there when somebody reported and when we investigated, right? But the amount of abuse that's being done actively every day don't get to us. So that's what hurts. But that's my concern. That's what I see here.
Thanks for everybody for bringing up these concerns. I think this is these points are valid and they're important for us to keep in mind. It's also something that we can certainly discuss at our retreat. You know, the fine line, of course, is that we're a quasi-judicial agency in that we're reacting and responding to complaints and adjudicating them. But part of that work is also informing people, especially the people who would benefit from the service of the agency, that this agency exists and that this would be a valuable resource to them to take a look at and make themselves available to. So outreach is a big thing. It's always really great to hear updates about outreach and what folks in the community are doing about reaching the people that we need to reach. And I suspect that that's going to be a topic of more conversation and frankly maybe perpetual conversation, because this issue always changes and the needs of communities change constantly, and it's a work in progress. So all we can do is just keep at it. All right. Is there anything else from the commissioners to report or to discuss? All right. Hearing none, we'll move to our AAG update. Kristen?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I actually do not have an update for you this morning. I will just confirm that I did send an email earlier to the commissioners about the final resolution of litigation case. If anyone has any questions, you can call me.
Yes, we did see that. I did see that. Thank you. And we're not upset. No news from you is not a bad thing.
Thank you.
All right. I'll open it up for any members of the public for public comment at this time. All right. Hearing none, we have concluded our meeting for today. Is there anything that I've missed that we need to address before we adjourn? All right. Hearing none, thank you all for your time and your presence today. We will reconvene November 17th at 9:30. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.